Hi, my name is Pallavi Rana, and today I'm presenting this presentation for the module of Business Analytics and Intelligence, and the module number is 7045 SSL. In this presentation, I'm going to explain the business intelligence and analytics software publishing in UK sector analytics software. So moving on to next slide, I'm going to give you a brief idea about the introduction of the same. And if I talk about the same, in this presentation, I have focused on examining the business intelligence and analytics software publishing sector in UK using the key concept of business analytics. And an industry dashboard is created using visual tools like we can say graphs and charts by gathering relevant publicly available data on FAME website to understand the market trend in the sector, and the statistical analysis including descriptive and predictive analysis is conducted whose results are interpreted to make recommendations for future of the examined BISP sector. So this is all about the introduction of the same. Moving on to next slide. I'm going to talk about the business analytic concept, which I've shown in the figure also on the same slide. Uh, Business analytics is a key evolving concept which reflect on data significant in terms of its increased volume, velocity, or we can say variety also. The BA descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive analysis. The BA methods are like statistical analysis and machine learning algorithms are used to conduct the descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive analysis to convert raw data into relevant information and to provide the organization with the fact-based and evidence-based data to engage in the informed business planning and decision making. I can say for the first further stated that business analytics demonstrate a positive influence on innovation through environmental scanning and creating a data-driven culture within the organization. Moving on to next slide. I'm going to give you a brief idea about the industry background. Also, I have given a figure also on the same slide about the product and service segmentation. If I talk about the same slide, the business intelligence and the analytics software publishing industries includes business that provide digital solutions and develop and publish and distribute software for performing business intelligence and analytics. The industry saw a boost during the pandemic as cash flow disruptions and remote working leads to the increased demand in cloud-based software including customer relationship management software, also the business enterprises and the analytics software and supply chain management software, which also makes the key product and the service offered in the BISP sector. This is because we can say because of the COVID-19, nothing was working. So there was a boost during the pandemic in this industry. So adding on the same, moving on to next slide. There's again, I have shown major players in the same figure for the same. According to the IBS World Report, the BISP industry currently generate a revenue of 884.9 pounds million pounds with a profit margin of 23.2%. So we can say currently, they are generating the revenue of 884.9 million pounds with a margin of 23.2%, with a major player being SAP SAP, Oracle Corporation, Salesforce, and IBM. Although the industry is growing at an unprecedented rate due to the increased demand of its product, the industry is also facing challenges in terms of intellectual property, theft, and ensuring the advancement, and also they are ensuring the advancement of the technology and innovation in the industry. Moving on to next slide. I'm going to give you the brief idea about the data gathering and analysis. In this slide, I have mentioned the 10 companies which, on the basis of what I have given a data, to conduct the analysis of BISP industry. The publicly available data for 10 companies for over the five variables are collected for 10 for the time period of 10 years. We can say from 2013 to 2022. Also, the selected companies include both leading and emerging companies in the industry or fully represented the industry. The five selected variables includes the turnover, the profit before taxation, the net tangible assets, shareholder funds, and the liquidity ratio to reflect on the financial performance of the industry. The gathered data will be visualized to get an understanding of the industry trends. Also, will be analyzed using descriptive and predictive analysis to understand the relationship between the variables to make effective recommendation for the future growth in the same sector. Moving on to next slide. There's an industry dashboard I have shown in the same slide, and there's two figures. If I talk about the first figure, that is giving an idea about the turnover consistency growing and however the profit is fluctuating. And on the second figure, you can see the consistency liquidity ratio and how the industry is managing their debt. So if I talk about the same slide, the turnover and the profit before taxations are important factor because they clearly showcase the financial performance of the industry. The first figure shows a discrepancy between the revenue growth and the profit variables, as even though the past decade shows a positive growth in the revenue over the years. The industry profit variables was unstable with the declining profit in the last couple of years. The loss in the year of 2021 can be attributed to the economic downfall, followed by the COVID-19 pandemic and increased inflation. If I talk about the second figure, that visualized average liquidity ratio values, which reflect on the industry capability to manage short-term debts. Also, the consistent value of liquidity ratio with the average of 1.73 pounds suggest that the industry has a 1.73 pounds to cover every per pound debt. So this is all about this slide. Moving on to next slide, I have given a descriptive analytics figures on the same slide. I can say, let me first tell what descriptive analysis highlights. The descriptive statistics highlights data properties and summary by focusing on the central tendency and variable variance values. After a careful investigation of the summary statistics, it can be stated that the standard deviation of each variable is higher than its respective mean value, because it suggests that the data is highly spread and has outliers, thus making median a more appropriate choice to get a better sense of the central tendency of each variable. The positive skewness value for the all variables show that the data is positively skewed, meaning the distribution of the data is along the left side of the mean. According to the change in 2021, the positive skewed distribution for financial results variable indicate higher possibility of the acquiring better profit, which make the industry a preferred choice among investors. Moving on to next slide, I have given a correlation analysis on the next slide. Let me first tell you what is correlation analysis. Correlation analysis help in determining logical relationship between the variables. I can say the highest value of correlation coefficient is between NTA and shareholder funds, which is 0.99 in the same data which I've given on the same slide, indicating that both the variables show almost similar pattern. Another crucial finding from the correlation analysis is between the turnover and the profit variables, which show that the second highest correlation with the value of 0.46, indicating a median positive relationship between these two variables, which supports caution as higher revenue can lead to higher profit. Liquidity ratio shares a weak relationship with all the other variables, and the table also indicate a weak relationship between NTA and profit, indicating an insignificant correlation between these variables. So moving on to regression analysis, and there's an equation also with the data in the table. The multiple regression analysis determine the impact of multiple variables on a single dependent variable. So for this multiple regression, profit loss variable is considered as the dependent variable, and all others four variables are considered to be independent variables. Also, the equation which I have shown in the same on the same slide suggests that the impact of the negative NTA and positive shareholder funds can be neglected as they share similar trend and values. Now, the profit mainly depends on the turnover values, while nothing can be said because clearly about the liquidity ratio, asset doesn't have a statically significant outcome. Although the higher R square value of 60% suggests that the 60% of change in profit variable can be explained by this regression model. So this is all about the regression analysis on the same slide. Moving on to next slide. I'm gonna say what I've concluded about the same presentation and what I can recommend about after this presentation for the same industry. Uh, if I talk about the same, the industry is expected to grow in future, considering the consistency revenue growth in the past decade. However, the industry profit is mainly influenced by its turnover as influenced of NTA and shareholder funds because they cancel each other out, which makes it essential for the companies to focus on increasing their annual revenue. Uh, they can do this by launching then their new softwares and increasing demands and supply in the industry. Although the impact of the liquidity ratio is not significant, it's still recommended for BISP industry to focus on reducing its liquidity ratio so that they can increase their profit and utilize a long-term debt for financing new software development. So this is all I have concluded, and this is what I can recommend for the same industry. This is the end of the presentation. Thank you.